The price of ignorance. Reality cannot be ignored except at a price, and the longer the ignorance is persisted in, the higher and more terrible becomes the price that must be paid. So it is, and so it has always been. Humanity, time and again, has sought refuge in illusion, in the comforting arms of falsehoods spun from our own desires. We lull ourselves into the belief that the inconvenient can be postponed, that truth can be selectively acknowledged, that reality will wait patiently for our recognition. But reality, my dear listener, is not so accommodating. It is not a servant to our whims, nor does it grant indulgences for our avoidance. To ignore reality is to invite catastrophe. Not all at once, no, but by degrees, subtly, insidiously, like a poison administered drop by drop. Each ignored warning, each dismissed consequence, each willful denial accumulates, compounding interest on a debt we pretend does not exist, until the day arrives when it must be paid in full. And by then, the price is no longer negotiable. Civilizations have collapsed under the weight of their own delusions. The warnings were there. The creeping decadence, the eroding liberties, the triumph of convenience over principle. But when given the choice between confronting an uncomfortable truth and indulging a pleasant fiction, most will embrace the fiction with open arms. And so the descent begins, not with a sudden fall, but with a slow unraveling, a series of small, seemingly inconsequential concessions that lead inexorably to ruin. History's pages are littered with the remnants of societies that thought themselves invincible, that laughed at those who cautioned restraint, that scoffed at the voices urging vigilance. The Roman elite dined lavishly while their empire rotted from within. The Weimar intellectuals debated politics in cafes while their republic slipped into darkness. The echoes of their downfall resound in our present, but the question remains, will we listen? We live in an age where ignorance is not merely a personal failing, but an engineered condition. Misinformation is not an accident. It is a product, designed and distributed like any other commodity. The modern world offers distraction in abundance, pleasure on demand, an endless stream of trivialities designed to ensure that we never stop to ask the vital questions. Who benefits from my ignorance? What truths am I not being told? What consequences am I setting in motion by my inaction? But there is no immunity in oblivion. To be ignorant of a thing does not protect one from its consequences. A man may refuse to acknowledge the storm clouds gathering on the horizon, but his refusal does not halt the coming tempest. The floodwaters will rise regardless of whether he chooses to see them. And so I implore you, not with the trembling urgency of a fanatic, nor with the desperation of a prophet, but with the clear-eyed reason of one who has studied history and human folly alike. Awaken to reality before reality awakens you, cruelly and without mercy. The price of ignorance is not paid in coin, nor in moments lost to mindless indulgence, but in futures squandered, in freedoms eroded, in civilizations undone. If we persist in ignoring reality, in placing comfort above truth, in silencing the voices that dare to speak unpleasant facts, then we will one day find ourselves paying the highest price of all, the loss of everything we once believed was secure. That day is not some distant hypothetical event. It is a moment approaching with each neglected warning, each censored voice, each deliberate act of self-deception. But know this, there is yet a choice. The debt of ignorance is not yet due in full. There remains time, though not much, to reclaim that which has been lost, to embrace truth even when it wounds, to act with courage rather than complacency. But the question remains, will you? Or will you continue to pretend that reality is optional, that consequences can be delayed indefinitely, that the cost of ignorance is something that others will pay? The decision is yours. But understand this, reality in the end will not be ignored. And when it comes to collect, it will not bargain.